In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to start your own phone flipping business. I should note before I get into the video, if you've not bought your first phone yet, you absolutely do not need any of this stuff to get started. All you really need to get started is a couple $100 to buy your first phone. I definitely do not want this video to serve as an excuse for anyone to hold off on actually starting their business. The things I'm talking about in this video are just some of the tools and supplies that will make your life a lot easier once you're actually operating the business. Cool, so I'm going to try and break this video down into a few categories. First things first, let's talk about the tech I would recommend to actually go ahead and get started in this business. You really don't need much in terms of tech. To start, you can probably get away with just your iPhone. Any phone will do as long as it has a decent camera to take photos of the phones you're buying. Next, I would recommend having some sort of laptop or PC so that you can track your inventory. I will get into more specific software I recommend in just a second. You are also going to need an iPhone charger for obvious reasons. You're going to want to be able to charge your phones when you pick them up. Something that's definitely not a necessity, but I would definitely recommend is one of these charging stations. The one I have can charge up to 10 devices at once, which will save you a lot of time once you start buying a lot more inventory. There's definitely nothing worse than having to run around looking for 10 different outlets to charge all of your phones. So this is definitely pretty crucial when it comes to handling a lot of phones. There's a bunch of these listed on Amazon for like $30 to $50. I'll go ahead and link the exact one that I bought in the description below. If you plan on shipping your phones on eBay, I would definitely recommend getting some label makers. The ones I use are by Dymo, and they're definitely a bit on the pricey side. If you are just starting out, I would recommend one of the cheaper $100 4x6 label makers they sell on Amazon. You can also actually just print your labels on regular paper and tape them to your package if you don't want to invest in a label maker right away. And by all means, I am all for cutting down on costs when you're first starting out. That is pretty much all you need in terms of hardware. Let's talk a bit about the software I'd recommend. The main software I would recommend is some sort of Google Sheet or Excel that you can use to track your inventory, as well as some sort of accounting software like QuickBooks to track your finances. Once you start buying and holding inventory, it can get super confusing if you don't track everything. Having a sheet to track what you purchased and when you actually sold it can be a super helpful tool. And then as far as finances, QuickBooks is really good for giving you a good overview of your finances, which gives you an idea of how much money you're actually making, as well as it's a good way to track how much money you currently have sitting in inventory. And then some sort of accounting software will also make it a lot easier when tax season comes around. I would recommend looking into getting some sort of diagnostic software, especially if you're processing a lot of devices. The industry standard is a company called PhoneCheck, which is definitely a bit on the pricey side. A solid free option would be 3U Tools. It's a super solid tool if you're just starting out, and it also makes copying and pasting IMEI numbers to your spreadsheets a lot easier. The next set of things that you're going to need is some cleaning supplies, because a big portion of being able to sell these phones at a good price is actually making them look as good as possible in your listing. There's nothing worse than when people post a super dirty phone that's like covered in scuffs and who knows what else. As far as the specific supplies I use, I keep it pretty simple when it comes to cleaning. I just use some sort of alcohol paired with a microfiber cloth to actually wipe down the device. And I would also highly recommend getting one of these anti-static brushes. These are just super good for cleaning things like the charging port, the speakers at the bottom of the phone, as well as the actual microphones, which is definitely a super important step in the cleaning process. I can't tell you how often devices come in on trade-in with charging port or speaker issues that literally just needed a good cleaning. So definitely don't sleep on the anti-static brush. All right, so while we're on the topic of actually listing the phones, here's another thing that makes a huge difference when it comes to sale price, and that is accessories. I always keep a bunch of brand new iPhone chargers and screen protectors in stock. You can get these for super cheap on websites like Alibaba and AliExpress. They don't cost you much, but they make your listings seem much more appealing. And it's a great way to add an additional $40 to $50 of perceived value for like literally a couple of extra dollars per unit. All right, so let's talk about everything you're actually going to need to go ahead and ship out these phones. As far as packaging, I just use these Indestructo mailers from Uline, paired with a bunch of these bubble sleeves also from Uline. The ones I get are 7x4x2, I believe, which leaves plenty of space to pack a phone and some accessories as well. I've actually shipped thousands of phones with these things, and I've never had a single unit get damaged. So these are super solid and definitely protect your phones. You're also going to need some sort of packaging tape and 4x6 shipping labels. Again, for the labels, if you don't want to invest in the label maker right away, you can definitely get away with just printing your labels out on regular printer paper and taping them to the box. Also recommend investing in one of these tape dispensers. Don't cost much, but they make your packaging look a lot cleaner. They make applying the tape much easier as well. Those of you who plan on trying to repair the phones yourself, these are some of the essentials I'd recommend buying. So the first thing I would recommend is one of these heat mats. These are super essential when it comes to heating up the adhesive, so you're actually able to open up the phone. Also fairly expensive on Amazon. I'll link the specific one I use down in the description below. Next, you are going to need a set of precision screwdrivers made for iPhones, as well as just some pry tools to open up the phones. There's definitely a lot more little things you could add, but if you're just getting started and learning how to repair phones, really is all you need to get started. That is pretty much everything you need to start a phone flipping business. You really don't need much, and you can definitely buy a lot of this stuff as you go. If you like this style of video and you want to see more videos on phone flipping kind of like this one, feel free to go ahead and let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.